Please.
All right, so today we've got the great Kelly Armstrong on here today with us, and I met Kelly before. Some of you have seen her before, but today she's going to be demoing for us not just her credit repair program, but her system on how she brings them in, how she works the clients through the credit repair. But more importantly, if you're a real estate agent and you're watching this, how the heck do I get that person back when they're ready to buy a house? So I'm going to be bringing Kelly on here in just a second, and she'll be demoing. But one of the things that I wanted to say that's been very successful for Stacy and I, especially with internet leads, you never know what you're getting with internet leads, is finding a partner that's good at cultivating that lead and incubating it and getting them to the point where they can buy and come back to you. One thing that Stacy and I offer, and we recommend if you're watching this video to consider adding this to your own unique selling proposition, and that's this. We tell our clients, if you go through Kelly's program and you complete it and you buy the house with us, we will reimburse you at closing for your credit repair costs. And because there's going to be some costs in it, so you'll go ahead, you'll pay that yourself. Then you come back to us and buy through us, we will reimburse you for your credit repair costs. And with that, let me bring on the great and wonderful, well-known Kelly Armstrong. Kelly, I'm going to make you, hang on here, I'm going to make you co-host so that you can share your screen if you're going to be needing to do that. And Kelly, I'll let you take it away, tell your backstory and everything to everybody on here, and plus everybody who's going to be watching the recording.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate it. So I probably won't actually show the software today. I didn't know that you wanted me to do that, but that's okay.
No problem, no problem. Just tell your gig. We love it.
Okay, so my name is Kelly, and I'm the founder of Behold Financial Enterprise. And our little tagline is, we like to help our clients get out of the credit hole in order to be whole. And so what we do is we call it credit score improvement, because what we are doing is, while we're trying to help our clients improve their credit scores, we're also educating them on how credit works. Because yes, I love getting your clients, but I also want that after we help get them on the right track, that they are educated enough to know how to manage their credit and keep it going once we prepare it, or, once we get it to the level that it needs to be, and then moving forward. Because we only monitor with them 6 to 8 months, depending on how long they need our services. And then after that, it is our goal to make sure that they know what to do moving forward. So what we do is, the first thing we do is we have our clients sign up for a credit monitoring service. The one that we use is called Check It Credit. And what it is it's a tri-merge company where we see all of their credit scores and their files from all 3 of the major bureaus, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And so we like to see the whole picture, because sometimes clients will just go and get it from Experian, or they might get it from Equifax, but you don't know what TransUnion is saying, or you don't know what the other one is saying. So we like to see what they all are reporting at one time. And you guys know this, that the reason why we do this as well is because each one of the bureaus are different companies. So the way that the data is entered via an e-Oscar system and that kind of thing, that there's keying errors that could happen, or it may not have hit a credit company based on, because a lot of this stuff is manually done through human beings. And so there's errors. And so we like to see all of that at a glance. So what we do is we have them sign up for that, and then we scrub their file and we look at everything on there that is potentially pulling their credit scores down. Okay. And then we determine if it's something that they need with us, meaning we need to go in and start disputing that stuff and working on it with the bureaus, or it could be something that they need to do. Like an example is, if their debt to income ratio is high, they may need to pay on those credit cards to get that utilization under 30%, so that will help get that score up, because they have too much debt to income ratio on their credit file. So everybody, just like we all have different fingerprints, everybody's file is different. And so that's why we do the analysis, because let's say Kim, your client has maybe she might have student loans on her credit report that we have to work on, but Ken, your client might just have utilization that is high and it needs to get under that 30%. So the strategy that I might use for Kim's client, I might not use for Ken because it's different. And so that's why we have to tell our clients, let's do this analysis, let's scrub your file. And then what we do is once we scrub it, then we sit down with them and we go over it line by line and let them know exactly everything that's on there, what we're seeing, what we suggest we do, what we suggest they do to help begin to work on those credit scores. So I'll pause right there and see if does anybody have any questions before, I go on. Chris.
Yeah, so do you guys use like the Lexington law method where you dispute everything just to get the score up, or do you only focus on legitimate stuff and try and get their scores up with more of a legitimate method?
Okay, so because you brought up Lexington law, I will let you guys know that Lexington law is now under very bad scrutiny with the government. So Lexington law may be going under. We don't know. So we are starting to now get more of Lexington law's clients, because what Lexington law has been doing is they, as you said, they don't dispute everything at one time. They like to linger their clients along so that they can keep getting money from them. And so let's say, Chris, you have a client that has 10 negative items. Well, they may only start out disputing maybe 3 to 5 of those items. So then what about the other 10? So they keep taking it and going on and on and on. And then it makes the client stay with them longer, but the client's not seeing any results. And then they're paying, the client's paying, they're seeing no results. And then also they're not getting follow-up. So what we do is we, as you said, we dispute all of them at one time. Okay, so we're like, let's get it. We want to get the best bang for our buck going right in. So if they have 10 negative items on their credit file, we dispute all 10 right away. And then what we do is, by law, the bureaus have 35 to 40 days to do an investigation. So then once that round of investigations are done, we are actually reaching out and connecting with our clients, your clients, to say, hey, here's what happened on that round. Here's what's been deleted. Here, we can tell what you've been doing. We know maybe you got another negative item that came on your file, so we'll let you know another collection showed up. We'll say, hey, you had an inquiry that hit this month that wasn't on there last month. So we are literally monthly going with the client, doing that customer service, keeping in touch with them to let them know what we're doing, what we see that they're doing, and just, how the progress is coming along. Another thing that you guys need to be aware of, and this is something that it'll be, when you guys send your clients to me, it's going to be more on our end, but there is a rule out now. It's called the TSA rule, the sales marketing rule. And what it is that you are not supposed to charge a client any work done until after you prove proof of the service. And also, you're not supposed to take any payments over the phone. Now, the reason why the government is coming down on us on this is because they realize that most of the clients that are coming to us well, not a lot of the clients that are coming to us for credit repair is they're already strapped or having problems financially. So like a Lexington law would be taking their money, they're already having problems, but they're taking their money and they're not even giving them benefits and showing them, any progress with regard to their credit file. So what we do is we do the work, okay? Now, I sit down face to face with them, okay? As long as you meet with them face to face. Now, we can talk on the phone and we can go through the analysis and all that stuff. But when it comes to me going through the transaction of getting their payments, I have to meet them face to face. Okay. And then that's how I can start to generate my money. But also, we don't collect any money until, let's say today, Chris, I send that first round of disputes out. I probably will not take their money until maybe like 5 or 6 days after that, because we always want to do the work first. We do the work first and then we charge. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you very much.
One of the things I love about Kelly, I forgot to mention you guys, she's local here. Met her at a networking group, and I've never met someone that cares more for the people. I mean, obviously Kelly's an entrepreneur, but she's in it to change lives. It's not, a lot of people say that, but it's real with her. She really cares about these people, and it's awesome and refreshing. Anyways, keep going.
So Kelly,
Okay,
Ken, do you have a question?
yeah, I have a question. Kelly, help me understand. So if we have a person that's got like a 610 credit score and they need to go to 640 to do a portfolio program, we can suggest them going through your program, and this person with the 610, you go and automatically dispute anything negative.
yes.
What happens when the company comes back and said, this is not disputable because it is the truth?
Okay, great question. So what we
And
do
I got,
is
hold that thought. Someone just rang our doorbell. I'm sorry. Kim, go ahead.
Okay.
Melissa.
All right, we'll come back to him. Okay, because I want him to hear this. Any other questions? Okay, so I'll make sure to answer his question.
Hey, Kelly,
So-
let me show your website real quick for everyone. I pulled it up. Hang on one second. I got it right
Okay,
here.
yeah, cool.
Beautiful. So this is Kelly's site. You want to just point out what we got on here? I'll kind of scroll through.
Yeah, so this is how accurate is your credit report. So we know, and I don't know if you guys know this, a lot of people don't realize that about 1 in 3 people have errors on their credit report. And so even if you're not even trying to buy a home or anything like that, we still encourage people to look at their credit file, because there's identity theft that's going rampant right now. And so that's why we say you want to make sure that you're looking at your credit on a regular basis. So that's me right there. And so we say, is your credit report accurate? And see that TSR right there, that telemarketing sales rule, that's exactly what I was talking about, as far as we honor that based on the law. The government is really pushing and coming down hard on us with that. I also have some courses here that people can purchase, how you can pay off $20,000 in credit card debt in 5 years. There's some other, budgeting is very key here, because if a client has a lot of debt to income, we talk about budgeting. I will also sit down with the client and help them create a budget. And so that is part of the service. We make sure that, because if I know you have a lot of late payments on your credit file, that's telling me you don't really have a budget that you're following. So we work with
I like the building sexy credit, as we say in our house, no money, no honey. So there you go. It's sexy credit.
Okay, and these are just some testimonials of people that we've helped. Just kind of my story. And then we do have a free ebook that they can sign up for and get right there, just talking about the importance of credit, talking about how credit's calculated, the 5 components of credit, that kind of thing. And then also you see over here the chat with Behold Financial. You can chat with me. All they got to do is hit the start chat and they can chat with me live. And then, if you want to click the pricing. Okay, so there's the pricing for that. There, the courses, the free ebook right there. Okay, keep going. And that's just me presenting at an event. And we talk about, so that right there, so what the initial charge is $150. And then after that, it goes down to $99 a month. So the initial fee is $150 and then $99 a month. So we say, it's less than what you would pay for an attorney. Okay. We also help with budgeting. We also help with debt elimination. I help a lot of clients with their student loans. And then also some of our clients may have to, they get sued or they may need legal help. So we also have a legal firm that we work with. And that's what that's all about there. And let's see here.
Hey, Kelly, how does an agent submit a client to you? How do they introduce you? What's your best process?
Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about. So like if you guys, there's a couple ways that we could do it. I do have a credit repair software, and with the software, I can enter all of you guys' names into my software and give you a login access, and you can monitor what is going on with your clients as we go along. So like if you see like for instance, your client like has like that 600 and they need to have a 680, you know, you can go in each month and look at it. And once you see like, hey, they hit that 680 or whatever it needs to be, then bam, you can go ahead and start moving forward. Now, if you feel like that might be a lot for you guys, I keep a record of all of the clients that you would send me. If you guys tell me the credit score that you want them to be at, you know, once we are done with them, meaning that we've done all that we know that we can do, and also once their credit score is where you guys would want it to be, we can reach out to you and say, hey, Krista, your client is now at where they need to be. Go back and reach out to them. And then we also tell the client too, when they're done, we say, hey, now, Kim is the one that referred us to you. I need you to make sure you go back to Kim so that she can help you. So we're not going to go, Kim sent you to us, but I want you to go to Krista. No, whoever sends us to them, that's where we send them back to, because that's more than right and that's more than fair. They have to come back to you guys. Yes, Kim. Oh, you're on mute.
What, are you in just Ohio or do you do other states?
So right now I am licensed and bonded in the state of Ohio. So there are some other states that we can work at that don't require you to be licensed and bonded. But to be honest with you, there's so many people here in Ohio that I'm like, I want to be the mayor of Ohio with credit repair. You know, before I venture out into a lot of other states. So
I'm going to vote you for governor, Kelly. You get our people where they can buy houses. You be governor of Ohio. Forget the mayor. We're going to do that. So Ken and Kim are dual licensed in Columbus, Ohio, and also they're in Florida. Do you do Florida deals at all?
Okay,
or no?
so I don't do Florida, but if you guys do need someone in Florida to help with your credit, just let me know. I do work with other credit repair companies that I trust, that, you know, we can work with and get, you know, you to them, and then, you know, they will work with us.
Great.
Ken, I wanted to answer your question. So, okay, let me make sure it was that if they don't have, answer it, say it again, because I got off with all the other. You're on mute.
From my experiences, people have bad credit because they don't pay their bills. You can
Yeah.
go in and dispute a lot of stuff, and as soon as you dispute a line on a credit item, it's my understanding that the creditor has to remove that from the report immediately until the dispute is resolved. So is that correct still?
Okay, so what happens is, let's say your client has a collection. It is valid. We know that the client does have that collection. The client knows it's wrong. They should have paid it. But when we do factual disputing, so what we do is when we start out, we say, okay, whatever your client's name is, we're not going to own up right away that that is yours, because we need the bureaus by law to prove, do their investigation and tell us, hey, Mr. TransUnion, how did you get that information and how did you verify that your client has this collection? So that's why we dispute first. And we go through about 2 to 3 rounds to see if that bureau can verify that that client truly has that collection. Now, if they cannot verify it, then by law, it's supposed to be removed. But if they can verify it, then we have to do another strategy with the client. And that's when we say you might need to do a settlement with the furnisher or a paid for delete. So when we first get started, we act dumb, to be honest with you. We don't own up to anything. Even though we know it's wrong, we don't own up because it's their job, the bureaus, to do an investigation and tell us that that information is correct. And that's where the key is. Some people are like, oh gosh, I got this paper or this collection, I gotta pay it. Well, yeah, you may have to pay it, but let's let the bureaus validate and prove that you owe this money. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it takes time. I tell people credit repair takes time. Just like, I'm trying to lose weight. My trainer, I'm like, I only lost 1 pound this week. I wanted to have 10 on. And it's like, no, it takes time. So just how you're trying to lose weight is the same with credit repair. And I tell the clients, like, if you're looking for us, we hope to fix your credit in 60 days, it's not going to happen. Not unless depending on, your credit file. There may be something that, yes, can get off really quick, but most of the clients that we see, it does take time. Okay, any other questions?
We got all the K's on here. We got Kelly, Ken, Kim, Krista on the call. We got the 4 K's on here today. That's awesome. Great
Yeah.
stuff.
And so the main thing though is that you guys have to, first of all, your client has to be willing to listen. The client has to be willing to work. Also, the client, like just as they may have to put a down payment on a home, or they have to have some money for the closing cost or whatever, they may have to have some money put aside for credit repair. Because as we're working on, if they have a list of collections, we may have to say, hey, we're going to have to settle that collection because we got to get this as a positive on your credit file. So let's say the collection is $1,000. We're going to try to settle it for maybe $300 or $400. We got to play the game with the furnishers and that kind of thing. Or we might have to say, hey, Mr. Furnisher, we'll do a paid for delete. Meaning if we pay it, you will send a note to the bureaus telling them to delete this off of my credit file. And then I coach the client along saying that you don't pay them anything until you get this in writing. Because now we want to have a paper trail. Because if we don't have a paper trail, then if the furnisher doesn't do what they say they want to do, we can get the lawyer involved. But we got to have a paper trail. So I tell the client, if the furnisher says, I will do a paper delete, get the letter first, have it in writing what the agreement was, then make the payment. Because they'll say anything on the phone, but we got to have the paper trail. So those are things that we coach them along on. Student loans is a whole nother situation. We have clients with student loans, they're in collections. Well, we can't get them forgiven until we get them out of collections. So we have to work with our clients to get them in some type of a rehab program so that they can get the student loans out of collections, get them back to the original furnisher that they took them out with. Then if they can't afford the monthly payments, then we work to see, do we need to consolidate? Do we need to consolidate and get you in some kind of income-driven plan? So that you can pay and then get that forgiveness. Now, all of that I'm talking about is completely different than what the Biden administration is saying that they're trying to get the 10K and the 20K approved. That has nothing to do with what we're working on. A little short testimonial. My sister had over $90,000 in student loans. She worked the process with me the whole time. She's been with me about 5 years. And she works for the Columbus City Schools. So I worked her through the whole program. During the pandemic, I told her, even though the government told you you do not have to pay on your student loans, if you are eventually trying to get these forgiven, you need to keep paying because you're paying on the principal. They froze the interest. So she kept paying. We submitted the file for the public service forgiveness loan. And this past month, she got her $90,000 forgiven. So she no longer owes the government anything on student loans. So this is the kind of stuff that we do here at Behold.
I love that story. That is awesome. Great stuff. Anybody have any questions for Kelly? I see Rena, I saw you on mute. Go for it.
Hi, Kelly. You had
Hi.
mentioned that the pay for delete, eventually they'll take it off your credit report. What if you settle? What happens when
So
you
if
agree
you
to settle?
settle, it'll just hit the report as a positive instead of a negative. So it'll still stay, but it's better to be hit on there as a positive versus a negative. So it'll just look like, they settled, everything's in positive standing, we're good to go. And then eventually by the statute of limitations and stuff like that, it'll eventually just fall off.
Pay for delete sounds like the better strategy. Seems like
Correct.
it. Go
We
for it.
always want to try to do the pay for delete first. That's the first way we go. But some of the furnishers are hard, though they won't do pay for delete. So then we say, okay, you always want to start. That's great, Jim. You always want to start first with the pay for delete. And then if not, then we go to the settlement.
So Kelly, typically how long does it take your company to show a 10-point increase in somebody's credit report? On
So
the average?
it varies, depending, like I said, depending on everyone's file. I mean, we've had in first rounds, we've had people see as high as 100 points. We've had people see as high as, the 50. We have some people that see nothing. It all just varies depending on the file. And that's why I love what we do, is because we look at every client's file within that 30 to 45 days. So let's say we dispute it and I see nothing moving, then that's a trigger to us. Hey, something's up. We got to change our strategy. And so I might need a client to take out a secure card. That might be what's going to get them to those next points. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we need to definitely sit with them every month and see what's going on, because we might have done what we were supposed to do. We may have gotten them a 50 point increase, but what they did was they missed the payment. And then that just destroyed everything that we worked on. And see, we find that out because we're looking at the reports every month. Because they'll come to us, I don't understand why my score went down. I didn't do anything. And then I go look at the report and I'm like, here's why. So I tell them why their scores went up and I tell them why their scores went down.
Beautiful. So Kelly, I don't have a bunch of different agents coming in at you. If they want to have this portal access where they can submit clients to you and also keep track on it, what's the best way for me to connect them with you? Should I have them go through your website and sign up in there, or how do you want it done? These are going to be realtors, obviously.
Yeah. So can you just send me a list of all of them and I will put them in and then give them their access?
Great. So you'll need their name, email, phone number. Does that work?
Yeah, name, email, phone number. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I'll find out. I'll get some people over to you. Obviously, Stacy and I are going to be in for sure on the portal, and then I'll find out who else wants to be in. Perfect. Who else got questions for Kelly before we let her get out of here and get some lunch?
Can we get your phone number just in case we do have other questions too?
Yeah, so you guys call me. You can call me directly at 614-296-0540. Now, most of the time, though, I give my clients starting out, they'll have a different number, and you'll see that on the website.
One more time, Kelly. I'll put it in the chat. 614-296.
0540.
Got it.
Now, if you have a client, though, it's best if they call me on 614-379-2636. I don't let them have my direct cell until I see that they're going to be really 100% working, because, I get so many calls. I want to make sure that, giving most of my time on the existing clients first. You know what I mean? So
Is that
you
the
guys
number on
can
the
call me
site?
on my, huh?
Is that the number on the site, the 379?
Yeah, the number on the site is what you can give your
Whoops.
clients.
There it is right there. 614-379-2636.
Yes, yes.
And your email right there. Perfect.
Yeah, and there's my email. Yep.
Beautiful.
Isn't that a beautiful website?
It is awesome. That's Stacy's favorite color on there. And Chris's also, he's got it there on his he's got it on his sweatshirt, so he's good to go.
Yeah, so Chris, you're doing the lead gen. So so he will send them the leads to you all, or how will that work?
Yeah, so I'm putting together a lead program for the agents, and they'll receive the leads, and they'll be calling them and cultivating them and all that. I've actually done credit repair with leads in the past through
Okay.
a home builder that I work with.
Yeah.
But the problem is she can only handle the ones that could build with her, and the other ones we didn't have a solution for. So I potentially have a huge backlog of buyers that need credit repair that I can try and get over to you. So
Okay. Yeah, good.
So-
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, I'm glad you at least know. So like if I have to bounce something off of you, Chris, put your number in the chat.
okay.
I love it. Like we say, if we're not having fun, we're doing it wrong, right, Kelly?
Exactly. Yeah. And our goal is, you guys know that, I mean, I'm preaching to the choir with you guys. This market is crazy. Okay, 390-390-92. What was it? Let me go back.
9243.
Okay, because the market is so crazy. And I mean, my heart just goes out for a lot of the people that call me and say, my credit score was this and I couldn't get, because it just, I don't know. It's just, this market's crazy. I commend you guys for what you do, because I don't know. Let me tell you, there's a condo where I live off of Central College. If you guys know of anybody looking for a condo, it just went up. So you might want to grab it quick, because I know it's going to go.
Kelly, one quick question from me. Kim and I have a database of about 3,000 people we've developed over time, and I'm sure there's a high percentage in there that do have bad credit. Is there a link that we can put with that we can develop a campaign that we can put to reach out to you? Or what's the best way to have clients reach out to you? What's the best way for us on a mass level?
So if you have something like that, if you have a spreadsheet, and I hope I'm answering this correctly, if you have a spreadsheet of them, we can load them into our database and do kind of like Chris is talking about. We can do an email drip, and we can drip them on a regular basis, giving them credit tips, and then also encouraging them to schedule a time with us so that we can help them. And we can also reach out to them and call them.
All right, is there any way we could possibly get a copy of that campaign? Because that could actually be part of a good campaign that we're sending out to people in general. Like all our people, we hit them at least once a week with information about real estate, because I use another platform for that. But we could easily include a credit tip with maybe a link that if these people do have bad credit, they can click on the link and then reach out to you, or something along those lines.
Okay, let me write
Maybe a
this
co-brand or something, Ken, when you do it, you know what I mean?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
one
something
thing.
where it's more automated.
I think Kelly has a newsletter that goes out too, which would be probably full of some information.
One thing you want to be careful of is sending people to the website without them being linked to you, though. Because then Kelly won't know, oh, this lead came from Ken, so that she can get them bouncing back to you.
Right. If we got 30 agents sending you credit repair
Or just sending
requests,
people
right.
to the website, and they just randomly fill it out. They'll never know. You'll never know that it came from me or Ken or whatever. But we could build an email drip campaign that has some teaser information about about credit repair. Figure out how we would word it. I always worded it free credit repair, but we might come up with another way to word it. But then either have a form that they fill out if they're interested, that would then go back to the agent, and then the agent would forward it over to you, Kelly, or, or copy you at the same time, so they feel, it'd be like a squeeze page, credit repair services, fill out this form, they fill it out, and both, Ken and you get notified. So that person came from Ken. So I could help with
That would be a
putting
great
something
idea,
together.
Chris. One of the companies I did training for, each agent actually had their own unique code. And as long as that code was in the link that you sent, the person receiving would know who that came from. That's what I was
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, I don't know if their website has that capability or not.
But I like your idea better with the form, because then there's like a better paper trail.
yeah.
And if you're gonna do the USP, the unique selling proposition of, hey, we'll reimburse you for your credit repair costs if you buy the house through us.
Right.
You at closing, you're gonna want to have some personal communication with them anyways to see
Yeah.
where they're at, and maybe the teaser stuff you're putting out gets them to respond to you, which ultimately gives you you personally invite them over into Kelly's program, Be Whole Financial.
Cool.
Yeah. So one of my suggestions is, this is okay with you, Jim, like as we get going, and get things, and maybe like get things going for a couple months, and then we connect again to say like, what do we need to tweak, are we moving, just so I can touch base with you guys to make sure that we're meeting your needs.
Yep, I like the plan.
And then also I need to come visit all of you guys so you can see me in person.
And
We'll invite you out to Pins coming up. Pins Easton, Thursday, 4 to 6. We're gonna be having it. I'll get you the invite too, so you can come meet the crew.
Okay. All right, good. Well, you guys.
I'm sorry, we won't be able to be there, Jim. We'll be suffering down here.
Yeah, after we get done drinking at Pins at Easton, we're gonna all fly down and stay with you guys there in South Florida.
we'll have to
Come
get,
on, we can have a Buckeyes party.
we'll get
It
one of
looks
those little,
nice down there.
yeah, get one of those little robots with the iPad connected to it so they can walk
Yeah.
around.
All right, well, if
You
that's
guys,
it, we'll let
thank you
Kelly
so
get out of
much.
here and, whoops, says I'm muted. I think I'm unmuted.
You're
But we'll
unmuted.
let Kelly get out of here and get back at it. Any more
Yes.
questions for her before we wrap up?
I'm good.
Nope,
Thank
good.
you so much. I appreciate it. You guys have an amazing day.
Hey, Chris and Kelly, I put you on a group chat because I know Chris has a backlog of these things. He was asking me about it and I wanted to connect you guys. So it's perfect.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye,
Bye.
kids. See
Bye.
ya.